Thomas Financial is an outstanding service organization that brings innovative products in the life insurance and wealth management business that I think are second to none. I'm Chris Sullivan. I'm one of the founders of Outback Steakhouse, as well as a new concept called Carmel Cafe and Wine Bar. I've been a restaurateur here in Tampa, Florida for about 32 years and love it down here, and got to know Rick Thomas and his group about 30 years ago.
Ours is a special business. My grandfather came to this country in 1888. He became a cigar maker, went to business for himself. He was one of 42,000 licensed cigar manufacturers to make cigars. Today, we are the only one of those 42,000 cigar manufacturers that are still owned and operated by the founding family. To me, that's really special. In our business, family businesses are difficult in general. Going from one generation to the second generation, for a variety of reasons, it's even more difficult going to a third generation. My brother and I inherited the business from my father. And it's important to me that my son Drew and Bobby's sons Pax and Dawson have the opportunity to inherit the business from my brother.
Back in 1974, when I was trying to plan our family estate plan for my wife and I and our young daughter Lauren at the time, I met Rick Thomas. He was a man of integrity and somebody that I knew I could trust with our family's future. And we discussed, and back then I bought just a simple $100,000 estate plan, and that was a lot of money for me back then. And I was a young man, and Rick was young, and Rick started his own company, and next thing you know, I convinced my father, Caesar, to talk to Rick. And at first, my dad was a little standoffish because he was working with his old school term life insurance. And then we talked and talked and talked, and finally, my dad says, "Bring that Rick Thomas in here. I want to talk to him." And thanks to Rick, he got my father into a plan that helped us make sure we were able to pass on from one generation to the next.
We were introduced to Thomas Financial just about the time I started with the Yankee organization and the Steinbrenner family. It was back in 2000. We were in the market to place a large Keyman life insurance policy on Mr. Steinbrenner. We use a very well-respected attorney here in town, and he helped us essentially put out an RFP for that process, and we interviewed a couple of different agents, brokers, firms to put this large placement for the Yankees. And we were one of the respondents to our RFP, and one of the referrals we received was the Thomas Financial Group. Right from the very beginning, it was clear that Thomas Financial stood out among its peers. I have, in the various worlds of business and the great opportunities that we have, deal with a lot of professional financial organizations, and it's rare to ever come across a firm that gives the type of service that you get when you work with Thomas Financial. And that's consistent not only with working with Rick himself, but we're working with Ruth and other members of his team. It's really one of the more refreshing relationships that I've had the pleasure of working with in the time that I've been associated with them at the New York Yankees.
Well, you know, the biggest challenge I think most industries face is the quality of service that they have. Customers, wherever you are on the scale of income or wealth, everybody expects to be treated very, very well. And I think service is a difference maker, whether it's in the restaurant industry or the insurance industry, any financial services, retail, it doesn't matter. Service does matter to so many of us in this country. And one of the great things about Thomas Financial is they get that, and they understand how important service is to their clients, and they never miss.
Our motto here at Thomas Financial is that if you need service from us, you'll have it before the sun sets on Tampa Bay. And that's really important. And to do that, you have to have a really competent, adequate staff. And we have 25 support staff members with an average of 10 years of service with us. That's 250 years of service. We have some that have over 25 years. So having that kind of depth is really rare in our business, and it really makes a difference with our clients.
And the other thing is, we always have that sense of urgency. We could sit back and say, well, I'll get that tomorrow. We look at it and say, how can I get it done today? How can I do it before the sun sets on Tampa Bay? It's always that movement of striving to be the best.
To be able to provide the funds for them to go on and life carry on like they had been before is just very rewarding. It's the best part, really. Selling life insurance and servicing it is great fulfillment, but delivering that claim check is really rewarding.
The difference with Thomas Financial is you get the personal attention, the annual meeting to get together and review our needs, and it's made the world of difference because over the years my needs grew, and with that they made available to us very affordable plans that will help me succeed in transferring ownership of our 4th generation restaurant into the 5th generation.
It's a testament to Thomas Financial and to the service that they've provided and the way they've provided that service over the years, that when we have an opportunity that needs a solution, Thomas Financial is the first company that we'll call.